Hello, everyone. Welcome to Asnointia Audio. This is Asnointia here. Today I'm going to be talking about a particular topic that has come up a lot in my readings, in fact, mostly for my male clients. Questions about females. So, for some of you who are females who prefer being with a woman, this may be applicable to you as well as, of course, the men, because I have been promising for a long time that I was going to release a audio recording for you guys. So here it is. So as I usually have, I have a list of things and I'm going to go through them piece by piece. And where do I get this information from, this knowledge from? I do a lot of readings. And so I get to see a lot of the emotions, feelings, the reasons why certain women do what they do. For that reason, I thought it's best that I talk about this with some examples, and hopefully it'll provide a bit more clarity in your own situation, whatever you are going through, or if you have gone through something in the past. Here, the topic is mainly why she ghosts you, why she sends mixed messages, and signs of her being just like an on and off kind of relationship or kind of committed person, but not so committed either. Sometimes somebody may seem as if they're really committed, but then a few days later they're completely different. Does this happen with women? Oh, yes, it does. As well as with men. Everybody is different. Not all men and all women are the same. No, everybody's different. So here we have, starting off with, she isn't fully attracted to someone who pursues her. She may end up having a little bit of maybe sexual attraction or emotional, or maybe even just because of finances. Usually, when a woman is being approached by a man, a woman usually also likes to pick her man. And when a man is coming towards a woman, if you have all of those requirements that she has always had ever since she was little girl, that this is my dream boy, this is the man I want to be with. If you tick all those boxes, that's fine. But sometimes you don't. And even for women that are with women, there are certain expectations that females have. And if you don't meet that criteria, then you already are below 50%. This is what I have seen. Now, if a man, for example, pursues a woman, she actually doesn't 100% feel very attracted to him. One of the reasons why she doesn't feel attracted is because there is no real kind of courting from her side. She also wants to do a few things. She also wants to be playful. She also wants to do certain things. But she can't do that if the gentleman is just pursuing her constantly. Sometimes too much persistence looks bad on a guy. It does. A lot of women don't actually respect that. One thing I have seen a lot of women prefer is a man that plays it cool, plays it cold. There may be 10, men in the room and one woman, and one man is not staring at that woman, but the rest of them are all staring at her. She will be attracted to that one person that's not staring at her. This is not 100% common with everybody, but it does happen. So sometimes when you think it's the right thing to do by taking that approach and, doing whatever it is, the traditional way where you're pursuing and chasing the girl, what happens is she's just not that into you because you are the one who's pursuing her. Sometimes she might end up being with you, and I wrote this down because she settles for security, and sometimes just an emotional kind of connection. It could also be a sexual connection. Now, in order to have a really fulfilling connection, if you have a spiritual, physical, and emotional connection with an individual, you'll be extremely happy. But all of us go through so much, and sometimes we don't get that. Sometimes we only get somebody who is financially very stable, and we just feel happy being with somebody like that as females. Um, because, I mean, yes, some females want to give birth, and because of that, you go on maternity leave and all that stuff. You still want somebody to be earning money, or you need some type of security. Now, not everybody wants to have kids, not everybody wants to settle down, and that's fine. But I'm talking about the typical, old fashioned, traditional people out there that want to have this type of relationship. Um, Sometimes a woman will settle just for security, but the problem here is the word settle. They just settled, meaning that you were not their first choice. To you, it may seem as if you got the girl, she's very happy with you, and yes, she will cuddle with you, she'll love you because she has that compassion. Women are compassionate. Most of us are. There is that nourishment, that nurturing kind of love that you can get. So there's this natural, inherent kind of feeling that women have towards somebody who's with them, and they will be soft and gentle with that person. Now, sometimes what happens, that can be misinterpreted as well, and it can also be just simply misconstrued. The way the woman behaves and reacts and acts, somebody may think she's completely in love, but on the inside, she might not be. This might just be her every day with everybody. There are a variety of things that go through a woman's mind and heart. That's why it's so difficult for men to figure out women. However, the one solid thing is that a woman does want security. And as women get older, as we age, we do want somebody to be there for us. And it's a very interesting thing, but we also want backup. Meaning, if it doesn't work out with you, maybe it'll work out with somebody else. This is something that is very common. Monkey branching. Here we have also, because her heart feels empty, she's just not that into you. And that happens. Sometimes you are with your woman and you can see that her heart and her mind and her thoughts are 1,000 miles away, and you're just wondering, like, where is she? Why is she not being the same beautiful woman that I fell in love with? Like, why is she different now? And that is because everything was given to her too easily. She received everything too easily. When we give, and this is for men and women, when we give too much too suddenly, it's too much to handle. Sometimes it gets overwhelming. This is why taking it slow is sometimes okay. Sometimes we overindulge so much that it turns out to be a very toxic situation. Now, why does her heart feel empty? Sometimes her heart may feel empty simply because in her mind, she had a whole storyline, an entire storyline, that this is how my life is going to be. When I'm 20 years old, this is what's going to happen. When I'm 23, this is what I'm going to do. 27, I totally have everything. 29, 30, everything's settled. There are certain ideas, feelings, and emotions that a woman has. These days, women are doing PhDs and they're completely educated, right? So it does sometimes take years to settle down. I have a lot of the average that I've seen now is around 40. A lot of women are getting married around late 30s, 40s because of the amount of education that people have to go through, all of the hard work that women have to do as well. Now, there's a lot of women that want also security for themselves in terms of their own independence. So sometimes if a man is definitely kind of jealous or very overbearing, she will feel very, very claustrophobic. It'll be a very terrible feeling, and usually she does not talk about it. Usually she won't say it. The nice girls don't say it. The ones that are a bit loud, the ones that are a bit passionate, and they fight for their freedom, those women will definitely say it. But the type of woman that you have pursued is not that type. Typically, she'll be the type who is very soft and quiet and gentle, but she just doesn't say much. Sometimes what happens, and I have this written down, you, the male, become very comfy. You become very comfortable. And what you don't do is at some point in time in the relationship, you don't really try too hard to keep her interested. And sometimes not even at all. There's no type of, newness or a renewal or like date night. People tend to gain weight. We start to eat more. We don't take care of ourselves, the other person. And because of this, people actually do get into um, depression. I have seen with my clients, and they've written to me and they've said that they've gotten into depression because their lives are just not like they used to be. They don't feel attractive. Their men don't actually take them out anymore. The man comes home, gives her a kiss on the cheek, then eats, and then that's it. And sometimes it depends if the man's making a meal or the woman's making a meal. Um, but the point is that there is a lack of interest left. And that is something, remember, it's in the back of her mind because you were the one who pursued her in the first place, right? This is the issue here. This is what kind of gets to her that, you know what, this wasn't even my first choice, and now this is what I have to live with. It's unfortunate to be that person who is considered not the first choice. That it is unfortunate. Some women do fall in love completely with a man like that, and that's fine. That's great. However, like I mentioned, this is for those of you who have had issues in this type of a situation. It's really bad because you try your best, you give it all, you spend so much money, you invest so much, and at the end of the day, it's not enough. It's never enough. What does she want from me? These are the questions that I get sometimes. What does she want from me? I've given her everything. And that is the problem. You gave her everything. You gave her too much. Too much to digest. Bitten off more than you can chew. This is what happened. Too much of anything, overindulgence, anything is very bad because then there's no value left. And this is what happens. Sometimes when you give too much, even as a female, when you give too much, there is no value left because there's nothing new to look forward to. So this does cause problems in relationships. Getting too comfortable is definitely a no-no. You cannot get comfy. Not too comfy. You have to keep this. It's kind of like the Olympic flame. You got to keep it going. It can never stop. Once it stops, it's going to be very difficult reigniting it because then that passion is completely gone. Here we also have one day, because you have become so comfy, okay, she meets somebody new. But then what happens when she meets somebody new? Let me give you an example. There are so many of my clients who have fallen in love with their gym instructors, their coaches. They're damn hot. So they're at home, and this could be females as well, two females, and a male and a female. So they leave their home, they go to this place, they start working out, and they get very close to this person. But this person shows them, by that whole physical aspect, this person shows them, the coach shows them that they are important. They touch them, you have to be touched. They teach them how to do things. They teach them how to build self-esteem, right? Build that confidence, plus build those muscles, right? This is a problem because that man and that instructor, whether it's a man or a woman, is giving more attention to this woman's body, her emotions. Part of it is because that's their job, right? That's their job. But from the woman's point of view, oh my goodness, some women fall completely head over heels in love with this person. And they specifically go to those classes because they love being in that environment. That is their outlet because they feel that attention from somewhere else. And they also feel that that person, their coach, is not so interested in them, but they want to be attractive. The female wants to be attractive enough to attract that man or that woman. This is something extremely just, I don't know, it's in the nature of a woman to be and be beautiful. We are beautiful beings. This is the way we were created. Um, we are beautiful and we like to be admired. And so, if somebody who is so good looking, if they can admire us, that just makes our day, right? But then sometimes things get a bit not only sexual, but then they become emotional too. When the emotions come in, that is when you at home, my dear gentleman, you will feel that this person's starting to pull away. She's starting to keep her distance from you. And she'll be content and happy because she is keeping her distance from you. Because she knows that on Wednesday night, she's going to go see her coach again anyway. Even if she's not having an affair, it doesn't matter. She's in the presence of another man who is giving her some type of attention. I've also seen patients who have fallen in love with their doctors because of surgery. Now, I'm not putting women down. It's not women. I'm a woman, right? And my own cousin actually fell in love with her doctor. She, my God, my crazy cousin, she kept opening her stitches because she wanted to see the damn doctor. My God. What some people won't do for attention. That was my own cousin. And I'm just now going to talk about some of my clients. So my clients have also had similar situations where they have been to the doctor. Now, what does a doctor do? A male doctor. They'll touch you on your belly. They'll see, are you okay? They're showing that tender love, care, aren't they? Aren't they doing that? Yes, they are. And the woman is simply craving this. She just wants this type of love, this type of attention. Now, is the doctor actually loving the patient? No, they're not. They're just doing their job. They're getting paid for it. It is the woman who's misinterpreting some of the actions sometimes that a man will do. She will see that, oh, he's staring at me longer. Yes, a guy will stare at a woman, but they don't do anything about it. But when they stare, sometimes it gets to the point where the woman will feel this connection. And that is when things really start to go downhill in the relationship at home because of the connection that they have somewhere else. This is something I have seen. It happens a lot actually with nurses and with doctors that are helping patients. And also you need to understand that patients, they're already psychologically so down, right? They just want that feeling to be healthy again. And when somebody's taking care of you like that, constantly calling and checking up on you, there have been women that I've done readings for that have fallen in love with that. They said, oh my goodness, he called me after hours. He's called me twice already. Yeah, but he's a doctor, he will do that. He's supposed to, because sometimes there's complications, and if they don't, they can get in trouble for not checking up on you. However, there's women out there that go through this and they experience this and they have talked about it. Like I said, my own cousin went through this. Now, we have here also when she meets this person, okay? Yes, like I mentioned, she meets this person. But what does she do? Yeah, she gets involved emotionally with this person, but is she comparing this individual to anybody? Oh, yes, she is. At some point, she's going to start comparing that person to you. She'll see what this person does versus what you do, how many times they do it, and how many times you do it. There's going to be so much comparison. Sometimes very detailed, sometimes not so much. But there is this competition in her own mind, where she will think, you know what, is this new person better than my existing person? But let me tell you, at this point, her heart is already 65% towards this other individual because she's thinking about this person so much. She's using you as a benchmark. She's looking at who should I actually be with. The problem is she can't actually be with the coach. She can't be with the doctor. And so it just eats her away on the inside. It just eats at her. And she can't do anything about it. If she leaves, she might not be with the person that she wants to be with at this point. And if she leaves, she might not be able to be with you ever again either, with that security that you provide her. That sense of somebody's there for me when I come home from work. Sometimes we just want company, right? We just want someone's attention and company, that they're at home. Okay, I'm not coming home, for Christmas. Sometimes being during Christmas time, during New Year's, it's so sad when you're single. I've been there. It's a very strange feeling. It's okay for a few years, but then when you realize and you see your friends are getting married, everybody's settled, they have kids, they have a home. Oh my goodness, it's just like this pressure just builds in your mind. Some people are okay with it, they don't care. But some people, it really eats at them, and all they want to do is just have that sense of security where they're just home with somebody and they can go out somewhere with somebody holding their arm. They just want to have that feeling. They don't want to be alone. Nobody essentially wants to be alone. Nobody should be alone. There's always somebody out there for somebody. Unless you want to be a hermit or a yogi. Now we have here also, because of this behavior, the woman starts to become double-minded. So like I said, this person's going to compare you, right? This woman's going to compare you. But then she actually becomes double-minded. Every time you're talking, you'll notice her behavior changes. You'll notice these things, right? These are red flags. You'll notice that she elevates her voice, or she gets agitated very fast and quickly. Or sometimes you're saying something and it doesn't matter to her anymore. She doesn't actually nag or get angry like she used to. She stopped caring. Why? Because she's caring for somebody else now. Sometimes she may just be extremely happy at home because she is happy outside. She may cook and clean and do all the traditional old-fashioned things that women do, and that might be enough for her. Then we have some women that are not like that either, and they completely start to ignore you. They don't do anything at home. They want to just eat out, and most likely they're eating out with this person or with their friends. Either they become extremely distant or extremely close. Typically, you may see that this person has actually become a bit distant, and you won't know why she has become like this. She most likely will not tell you. She may have mentioned it before, but when we are in a relationship as a couple, sometimes we tend to, what do you call it? Like white noise. Literally, when a woman is talking, sometimes men get so agitated with women because they don't have that patience, like some women do. They filter out certain stories and certain things that women are telling them, and so they actually won't pick up on those small, tiny nuances when a woman is talking. There's some guys out there, though, that are damn picky. They will nitpick every single thing that you say, and they'll question every single thing. But then there's some guys, like I mentioned, the ones that get comfy. Those are the ones that tend to kind of, they don't see this. They don't think it's important. It's not a threat to them because from their point of view, they got the girl, everything's perfect. They've provided her with everything. What more does she want? She's fully satisfied. And that is probably how she acts at home. And that's fine because she is satisfied to some degree. Now, here, what happens is, I wrote down also so that's one scenario, okay, where she can meet somebody brand new, and these emotions and feelings start to grow inside of her, that had become dormant. It's like what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a vision right now. It's like a beautiful a garden of flowers, and when you both were together in the beginning, it was bright and happy, and they were blooming. However, now I see frost. Frost is on top of this garden. Frost is on top of this garden. And when this new person comes, that frost goes away. They begin to bloom again. This is what I'm seeing right now. And it is just like that relationship that before it used to be nice, but now it's a bit cold. How do you warm it up? Somebody else is warming things up now. And that is a problem. Now, not every woman is like this, as I mentioned. For some women, a little bit goes a long way. A little bit of attention just makes them happy overall, and they get back on track with life, and it gives them nice self-esteem, and they really want to work towards their confidence. But some women do start to become a bit aggressive. Their behavior changes. You can see this. They may get snappy. They may not do the things that they used to do for you before. They may say, go get this yourself, or go pick that up yourself. Or they get very defensive, like, I'm not your slave, this, that, and the other. This kind of stuff does happen, and it's usually because you had become so comfortable in the relationship, you really didn't give her the type of attention that she wanted, and affection that she wanted, the passion, those vacations. Sometimes women are very demanding. However, there's a common average. There's like that threshold. You have to at least meet the woman halfway. If not, she will not be interested in you. That's just the way it is. Now, another scenario I have is, and this happens in my readings too, a lot of the women had been with somebody when they were in high school. And 20, 30 years down the road, they're completely married now with somebody new. Their husband has been there for them. They've been working really hard together to build a future. They even have kids. However, somehow somebody reaches out to somebody from Facebook or some other platform, or there's a class reunion, and then, wow, you meet your old crush again. My God, and he's hot as hell. And look at him. Oh, he's divorced. Oh my goodness. Should I feel sorry for him that he's divorced? No. I'm happy that he's divorced. There's these feelings that women get because we want the guy. We want that attention from this person. In all honesty, sometimes it doesn't even matter if the guy's married. These days, it doesn't matter, I've seen. If the person of interest, the person that was, the high school sweetheart, comes back into your life, you can't compete with old ghosts. You can't. You just can't, because that person knew your woman a long, long time ago, right? This person knew her when she was just growing up, when she was just discovering what kind of woman she is. So many sweet, innocent memories, first-time memories that were built in her life. Those are the memories that this person shares. And this can go for anybody, in the past, anybody that has had a relationship with somebody in the past who just comes back into your life all of a sudden. Now, of course, one, you may have, or rather, the woman might have feelings towards this person still. Might have been the first love, first kiss, first time they got intimate. And that never faded. That love never faded. She only piled it on with somebody else, which is the husband, who she does love. That's not a problem. However, what I've seen is that those two people, they start to have coffee, they start to talk, and then suddenly, boom, my God, they're in love. They're in love. And it's unfortunate, but the man, typically I have seen, tends to start to pull back, keep their distance, and then they fade away. The woman is left in heartache and pain, suffering and sorrow, and she has not told her partner, who is you, she's not told you what has happened. Because she can't. How the hell is she going to say that? Some women like I say, as you all know, I do readings. Some women have told, and some men have said, hey, it's an open relationship. Go ahead, do whatever you want. I have had people that don't have a problem with that. And they are open about it. And that's fine, but it's extremely rare. I would say 2% of the people that I do reading for feel like that. However, there are people like that that are okay with it, and then some people are not okay with it. There was this one couple that I was doing a reading for where the woman wanted to go out with her old flame. However, the husband said no. He just completely said no. But it's unfortunate what happened because I knew that the girl had a crush on him. She had a crush on her high school sweetheart. And the husband knew this. And this is exactly why he didn't want her to go. Now, you see, what do we do in a situation like this? If you let her go, will something happen? Most likely, yes. If you don't let her go, will something happen in the future secretly? Yes, that could also happen. Because you restricted her. It's like restricting a teenager from going outside and doing whatever they want. Eventually, sometimes a kid will go out and do what they want. Too much restriction will make a little birdie fly. That's what happens, right? You got to keep your hand open. Keep that sand in there. Keep that water in there. If you close your fist, it's going to fall right out. It'll leave, right? So this is something that does happen. It's very, very common. And it is very easy for this to happen because those beautiful memories, those soft, gentle things that this woman has gone through, it happened a long time ago. And yes, those memories are still there. And like I said, if you are the one who has pursued this woman right in the beginning, this is why that person is her first choice, not you. I'm sorry, I'm being blunt. And like I said, this is not going to suit everybody's situation. However, this is the average of the type of readings that I've done. This is what I've usually seen, what happens. And we also have here, it's like this fire, this old love flame, this fire is reignited. And it reignites her mind, her body, her spirit, her soul. And oh, she starts to get horny. She starts to get very, very passionate. Like usually she'll want to be intimate with this person. And if they have been intimate before, of course, it's going to be difficult to kind of keep her away. Here we also have, okay. By you, my dear gentleman, by you being sweet and tapping into your feminine side a little too extreme, you are not allowing her to be her feminine self, because then she will behave more like the masculine. Now, this is something that I've seen very common. I have seen a lot of men who will bend over backwards and do the sweetest things for the woman, but also become very soft. And because of this behavior, it is okay. Men have their feminine side as well. But sometimes there's a limit. And if they go beyond this limit, they no longer seem to be somebody who's masculine. A woman like this, the type of woman that you're with, or you want to stay with, this person wants somebody who is masculine because she can only feel feminine if you are masculine. And it is important to feel this because this is the only thing that will hold you both together like a glue. Opposites attract. This is something very important. Even if you're two women, one of the women has to be masculine. She has to have that character. And there will be a beautiful equal give and take there. However, if both of them are males, if both of them are masculine, not males, I don't mean to say males, if both of them are actually like masculine energies, there will be a butting of the heads, there will be arguments. It won't be as harmonious. And this is something that we sometimes forget. A lot of women these days who are working, they're very much in their masculine energy. If they come home and if the man is feminine, that is okay because you have that equal balance. One is feminine, one is masculine. However, if the man like yourself, if you are too much, too feminine, it will start to make this woman keep her distance from you. And, that handsome coach or that handsome doctor who is extremely masculine, very alpha, that is the type of man she's looking for. And that has been the case throughout history. Typical alpha male is the one that gets the girl. And if you are, by nature, a beta male, that's okay. That is your nature and that's who you are. However, if you're a beta male, you do need to find somebody who appreciates that type of a male. But if you are an alpha male, you definitely need a woman who is in tune with her feminine side a lot, because that'll make you feel like a man, that'll make her feel like a woman. Two of the same doesn't work. Here we also have, because of these feelings and emotions sometimes she may have for somebody else, she does tend to become cold and distant, and undecided. At some point in time in her mind, she has made her plans that this is how I'm going to leave, this is what I'm going to do. But sometimes what happens is that plan just doesn't come to fruition. It just doesn't get that far. In her mind, she has clocked out. And this is sometimes why you'll feel that, why is this person so, why is she sending me mixed messages? Mixed messages because part of her wants to keep that security. In case she wants to run back to you, you'll always be there. That's why she's like that. But the other part of her wants to be free and wants to leave and wants to have that adventure with this new person. Or her just being herself, rediscovering herself. But she wants that backup security. Now, do you want to be the backup? Some guys are okay with that. Some people are not. If you are, you have to be prepared to kind of be, I'm going to say it, a little bit of a doormat. But then do women like that? Do women like that? No, they don't. You may be feminine, you may be accepting. But if you act like this, and if she comes back, is she going to have value for you? No. She's only having that sense of value because it's valuable for her. She just knows that she can get you anytime she wants because you've already acted like that. But if you play hard to get, if she leaves, if you say that's it, doors closed, goodbye, after 4 or 5 months, maybe even 2 months, she'll start to feel that difference between that person and you, because you were the one who was always there for her. You were the one who was always caring for her. Sometimes some women will feel guilty and they will want to be back in the connection with yourself. They will want to be with you. However, there's some women that just don't. They feel like, enough is enough and we've gone on. Usually those women are the ones who have experienced abuse, physical abuse, mental, emotional, psychological, even sexual. Any type of abuse, they will want to stay the hell away from that, right? But if you have been absolutely sweet, gentle, soft, and caring and all that, eventually when they meet a hard ass, somebody that's treating them very badly, poorly, because sometimes alpha males get like that too. They're so alpha that it's just me. And that is a problem. At that point, she just switches all of a sudden and she thinks about you. And sometimes a woman will come back for that reason because the grass was not greener on the other side. Here I also have, you need to remember also, females, yes, we do go through PMS. We have hormonal changes as we get older as well. There's emotional changes that happen in our lives because also the clock is ticking. Our bodies don't feel as strong as they used to be, just like everybody else in the world when we're aging. But one of the important things is that when you are making a decision and judging the woman, try not to judge her too much, not just during those days, but you're going to have to actually pay attention to her behavior, her cycles versus her behavior, you will need to know this, because some days it actually might be PMS, that she's just freaking out and she's getting all agitated, for no reason. That's just because that's her. That's all of us. That's just what we do. A small portion of people are not affected by PMS, though. Very tiny portion. Here we have a situation where there may be an argument. She may be overly passionate about this argument, but it's purely based on her emotions and the fact that she is maybe on her period. Maybe she's going through something emotional, right? But this is something very strong, and it means a lot to her on the inside. And if you pass judgment at that time and declare that this is just the way this woman is, that unfortunately will not be fair. Because at another point in time, during the next few weeks, she might be somebody completely different, very nice, very calm, this, that, and the other. And you will wonder, okay, why is she like this then, and why is she like this now? Like, why is she changing all the time? As I said, yes, women go through a lot of hormonal changes, so you will have to keep an eye out for that particular thing. Some women I have seen use it as an excuse. Some women actually may be bipolar, literally bipolar. And what they tell me is there's a confusion sometimes of men, and they're diagnosed as being bipolar afterwards. A couple of people I've done readings for. But before, it was all about their hormones. Like, oh, are they just doing this because they're being mean or rude, or is it because of hormones? It turns out it was something completely different. So don't rule out everything else. It's not sometimes just, her attitude or the fact that she's met somebody. Sometimes it can literally just be her biological clock the way it is. Just pay attention to that. You will have to pay attention to that, because it'll help you in, how to deal with the situation. And, women's cramps, some are terrible. Some women faint, and some women need injections, and it's really, really bad. So sometimes cramps can be terrible. If you can, be so comforting and so loving and gentle during that time, because that's when a female needs a man. And sometimes during other times too. Just being that person that can change that light bulb, or just do that manly thing that you can do. Women can change light bulbs too, but we just like seeing a guy do it. It's just like chivalry. It's just cute seeing that happen. Um, with these emotions that she goes through, she might make a decision, and she might make a decision that she might change later on, you see. And for you, you wonder, like, what the hell? One day she's like this, the next day she's this. What the hell's wrong with her? You may be questioning yourself. And this is why sometimes, because a woman is very emotional, we internalize things a lot. We are very emotional, and we will be very passionate about our decisions that we're making. Sometimes if we're, during that time of the month, or maybe around that time, or if there's anything that's stressful in our lives that has happened in terms of making us, I guess you could say, upset at work, for example. If there's like a situation at work, it may cause us to have an emotional breakdown. And we come home, maybe we don't want to tell our partner about this, but we just behave in a different way, right? So many things happen. This happens to men too. People go through certain things. They don't necessarily talk about it at home when they get there. Sometimes it's good, because it can clear the air. It can show the person, okay, this is why they're upset. Now I see. And of course, just as every good couple should do, if a person tells you that they made a mistake, don't ever rub it in their face in the future. Because if you do, they will never tell you anything again. A lot of people go through that, and it's not fair, it's not fun. People confide in people because they trust them. And so if after a few weeks or months there's a fight or something, and you tell them off, and just by saying, you know what, even your work people think of you like this, oh my God, that's hitting you below the belt. No, that's not right. You can't do that. So there are arguments I've seen that happen like that too, and it's not good, because you are basically abusing that, that confidence that they had in you, and eventually they won't talk to you about anything, and then they get closed off. Here we also have, there is definitely a lot of attraction to the typical alpha male. That this is very common. It is inherent. It's actually like in our DNA to find somebody who's more like the alpha, somebody who's strong, aloof, somebody who has a no care attitude. There's a lot of women that are attracted to men like this, who doesn't give her much attention and the time of day. And it's because she seeks admiration and wants to be the most beautiful thing around and admired out of all the competition. But an alpha male, that is somebody that excites her. Now, this doesn't mean, that if you don't have a 6-pack or even a 1-pack, right? If you don't have that, it doesn't mean you have to go and work out like this for this woman. It just means that sometimes, looks don't matter. Looks come and go, they fade, right? You can get into a terrible tragedy at some point and your looks are completely gone, right? Looks at the end of the day fade. They don't really matter that much, but a lot of people fall in love just with a person. On average, I've seen just the heart of a person. If the heart of a person is beautiful and helpful and loving, caring and alpha on its own, that is nice. Alpha doesn't have to mean somebody who's very macho. It can mean somebody who's just a leader, somebody who takes charge, somebody who wants to be that person who is a go-getter, somebody who gets the job done. And this is something that is very attractive. A man who is very confident is very attractive. But I would recommend for you gentlemen out there and some women that have masculine energy, I would recommend that you don't give too much, too fast, too sudden. Because there will not be a lot of admiration and a lot of desire left. Because it's almost as if I've mentioned sometimes in my other channel, if you have too many of diamonds, so many diamonds, hundreds and thousands of diamonds, for you as an individual, will that diamond be a rare diamond anymore? Will it have value? I don't think so. When you have so many. So when you have so much of something that you're just doing and giving constantly, is there a way of admiring that, of appreciating that? Honestly, the human body and mind just don't work like that. If we have too much of something, we get used to it. We get comfy. It loses its value because we already have it. It's very difficult to maintain that type of feeling that you're always going to be losing something. The best way I have seen to be in a relationship is to keep a healthy distance, keep a healthy boundary. Healthy boundaries are important. Taking things slow is also important, but not too slow. And giving the other person their space. Having a hobby. The other person has to have something that they're passionate about. For example, if they're passionate, and it may sound crazy, but if they're passionate about dancing or clubbing and you feel fear, then that's not good because that is their outlet. That's what she likes doing. That's what she does best. So there's sometimes certain types of things that we really enjoy doing. They may not really resonate with the other person. And because of that, it's like, oh, you're putting restrictions on me now. This is a huge topic. It can probably never be deciphered in any kind of way. It's a huge situation when we have 2 people, sometimes 3 people in a connection. And why is somebody acting the way that they are? But I have provided a few, scenarios and a few things that I have seen throughout my readings. And many of you know at this point in time in my life, I have done at least like thousands and thousands of readings. And that's pretty insane for me to do that. Can't believe I did that. And I'm still doing it. But it really shows me the human heart, the human mind, the way we act and the way we react. And it is for me, I in my readings, I kind of like make this average that okay, this is kind of typical in this kind of situation. this scenario, this is usually the result. That's the way I work. Very calculative in a way when I do things. But this is something that I've seen, and I really wanted to share this with you guys because I thought it might be helpful on some level. Even if you find 1 or 2 points very helpful, that's excellent. I am happy that I've been able to help somebody in some way. So a few things I would like to say before I close this particular recording. One is pay attention to the small details, okay? That is very important. Don't get too comfortable in the connection, meaning keep it interesting. Keep that spark alive. Also, sometimes with the red flags, right, we don't see the signs. Pay attention because a woman wants that type of security. And also, don't give too much, too sudden, too fast, because that value will no longer be there. Keep yourself as a rare commodity. And if she desires you and if she really wants you, she will be pulled towards that kind of behavior because now that is alpha. All right. I hope I was able to provide a little bit of clarity, some guidance on this kind of situation. Do let me know in the comments below. You all take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys again. Bye now.